Greetings. It is once again my pleasure, as the Minister with responsibility for industry, commerce, and consumer affairs, to make a statement in observance of World Consumer Rights Day. World Consumer Rights Day is an annual occasion on March 15th for the celebration and solidarity within the international consumer movement. Consumers International has been at the forefront of consumer advocacy globally, supporting, promoting, and protecting consumer rights around the world. I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate Consumers International on reaching its 50th anniversary as the foremost international advocate for consumers. I wish it even greater successes in its future endeavors. This year's celebration will focus on the theme, My Money, My Rights, My Responsibilities. I find this theme highly relevant in the context of the global financial and economic crisis that has so severely affected incomes of consumers worldwide, and in St. Kitts and Nevis has been the major cause of the near 9% decline in economic activity in 2009. The economy of St. Kitts and Nevis has not been spared from the effects of these negative externalities, but at the same time, we as consumers must exhibit increased financial discipline in order to ensure that our hard-earned incomes continue to provide us with a high degree of satisfaction as we purchase safe and good quality goods and services. In these times, it is imperative that as consumers, we effectively manage our limited resources in a sensible and sustainable manner to ensure our survival in this tight financial environment. In so doing, we must strive to understand and internalize our basic rights and responsibilities under the UN Guidelines for Consumer Protection. The UN Guidelines propose the right to receive truthful and honest information about the goods and services which we purchase. The UN Guidelines propose the right to choose between products of different quality, quantity, and price. The right to choose a level of quality and performance commensurate to the price which we are prepared to pay. We have the right to safe goods and services, the right to expect that household products and children's toys are not faulty, the right to be heard and seek redress, the right to consumer education, the right to a healthy and sustainable environment. Of course, with all these rights come responsibilities. Some of these responsibilities are often overlooked or taken for granted by the consumers themselves. What are some of these responsibilities? The responsibility to shop carefully and wisely, the responsibility to understand the terms of sale, the responsibility to read labels carefully and follow prescribed instructions, the responsibility to get guarantees in writing, the responsibility to save your receipts, the responsibility to ask questions at the point of sale or before, the responsibility to keep informed about new products, the responsibility of carrying out transactions in a business-like manner, such as reporting unsatisfactory products promptly to retailers and manufacturers, the responsibility to take action when treated unfairly by a retailer or his or her agent, and also by a manufacturer or his or her agent. the responsibility to seek best value for money. These essential rights and responsibilities of consumers are entrenched in our own Consumer Affairs Act 2003. Consumers are encouraged to read the Act and take careful note of its many provisions. Section 19, for example, deals with the options when consumers reject goods. Under this provision, consumers have the right to a full cash refund when they reject or return goods. Consumers commonly complain that when checking out their groceries, cashiers often charge them a higher price for items than the price which is affixed to their products. Section 42 of the Act states that in these instances, the consumer has the right to receive the lower of the two prices. The Department of Consumer Affairs takes seriously the task of educating consumers on their rights and responsibilities. Their work program substantively revolves around implementation of the Consumer Affairs Act. I strongly believe that an empowered consumer working hand in hand with the department will present a formidable front that will create a strong opposition against unfairness in the marketplace. We must continue to be vigilant in the marketplace, as this will ensure that suppliers of goods and services are held accountable in providing fair value, especially to the poor among us. The government of St. Kitts and Nevis is fully committed to the protection of all consumers, and as the line minister, I have consistently given my full support to the Department of Consumer Affairs as it carries out its work program. I firmly believe that its interventions in the marketplace have provided and will continue to provide tangible improvements to the quality of life of consumers throughout the length and breadth of this, our beloved country. During the challenging economic times, consumers must spend their incomes wisely and prioritize their needs and wants. Spending decisions first and foremost should be based on needs. It is prudent to draw up a shopping list before purchasing groceries at the shops and supermarkets. This, of course, will help to focus expenditure on items that are needed. Comparison shopping is also a good practice. In this regard, the Consumer Affairs Department assists by compiling a fortnightly publication entitled A Look at the Supermarkets. This A Look at the Supermarkets publication compares the prices of similar goods across several supermarkets. The publication highlights then the lowest and the highest prices for each of the items enumerated on the list. Consumers then are placed in a good position to choose the supermarkets providing the best price or the best value for their money. We would advise our consumers to scrutinize the labels attached to the products, paying particular attention to notices dealing with health and safety of the product. In cases where there are no labels or where the content information is not in English, this should be reported to the Department of Consumer Affairs or our Bureau of Standards for their intervention. Consumers with their limited incomes are encouraged to find creative ways to stretch their hard-earned dollars.